Yes, thank you. And again, thank you all for being here. And Heather Siraki went through some of the accomplishments of the last regular legislative session. We're now in our short session, and we've still got work that we're doing. She is on a very tough committee, Health and Human Services. Can you imagine making the decisions that she has to make in those committees? And she's been really, really strong. So I just want to put in a plug for her and the people that serve on appropriations. I'm sure they're there right now around the table trying to hammer out what we're going to do to fill the hole in our budget. It's really the hole in the Health and Human Services budget is what it is. And the Department of Health and Human Services and the deficit that they have been running year after year after year that the state has unfortunately filled with budgetary gimmicks and across-the-board cuts. And those are some of the things that Governor LePage and the Republican legislature are really, really committed to not doing. We want to fix the problem. We want to make real reform. We don't want to just plug the holes in a sinking ship. And the decisions are really, really tough, but they're very, very important to the vitality of this state. And I think that we should just applaud Heather Siraki for the work that she's done as a part of that committee. When I first was elected and I went up there, you get to say what committees you want to be on, and there were 13 committees at the time, either 13 or 14, and the one committee everybody said that you don't want to be on, other than Health and Human Services, is labor. And so I signed up to be in the business committee, which was business, research, and economic development. Well, guess what? They decided to blend the Business, Research, and Economic Development Committee with the Labor Committee. So I've had the fun of dealing with the labor unions all of last session, and I truly look forward to dealing with them some more in this session. And I can just tell you that the two most vocal lobby groups in Augusta, and I want everybody to know this, and I want you to go home, and I want you to tell your friends and neighbors, they are not the business community. If it was the business community in Maine, guess what? We would be in a better place than we are right now. They are the labor unions and the social action groups. And those are the two most vocal voices in Augusta. That's who's been running Augusta for the last 40 years. That's why we're in the position that we're in right now. And both Representative Siraki and I have made a commitment to go to battle against those groups. And it's going to get ugly next November. So I'm just up here asking for your support. I would hope that you would consider helping us in our campaigns. I would hope that you would consider making a donation even, perhaps. We'd be happy to accept checks today. But it's going to get ugly. They're very, very well funded. They are completely supported by the press. As you can see, anytime you open a newspaper, even the local newspaper, the Scarborough Leader, does not print any of our press releases. We send them things all the time, and they never make it to the paper. We are not permitted to send them anything longer than the length of a letter, 300 words or less. And I think that's shameful, personally, because we should be getting a little more respect than that. We're working for you guys here in Scarborough, and we're working for the state. So I just hope we can count on your support. Some of the things that my committee is working on we're already looking at the unemployment insurance. How can we reform that system so that we have, so that people who are fraudulent, there's not a lot of people, it's not a huge problem, but I think we do need to crack down on those people that are taking advantage of the system over and over again. And we're looking at how do we insist that people who are collecting unemployment after a certain period of time that they take a job. It may not be the job of their preference, but it is a job that will pay the bills rather than collecting a check every week from the state of Maine. We're also looking to reform workman's comp. And it had been 19 years since the legislature had been mandated in statute to create a medical fee schedule, which is what they base workman's comp claims on, is the medical fees that have occurred because of the injury that the worker incurred while on the job. It had been 18 years, and they had never done it. Hannaford came to me, and they're one of the only big businesses in my district. Hannaford came to me and said, this is very, very important to us. I said, well, that's great, then it's important to me. And guess what? We got that done. There was almost an immediate drop in workman's compensation insurance rates of 3.8%. And since then, I believe that it's been an almost 8% drop in insurance rates. That goes right to the bottom line for small businesses and large businesses like Hannaford and me. So those are some of the things we're working on. There's all sorts of others. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook page. I'm working on my website. If anybody knows of anyone really good at websites, let me know. But I just hope that we have your support, and thank you all for coming.